Call the select board meeting for April 27th to order at 7:05. Scott Welch, would you lead us in the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start off with approval of the minutes for April 13th.
We haven't approved the agenda yet.
Oh, that's true. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Do we need to add something, Mike, or no?
I talked to Dick, it was about the Mary Jo thing, but I think it's both the executive sessions.
Okay.
That's a contract issue, that we should do that in executive session. All in favor? Aye. Who seconded that?
I did.
Okay. Now we need a motion to approve the minutes for April 13th.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
I haven't read them. I just got them now.
Were they not, they were not in your packet, but you had them in your guys'
They
packet?
were in my packet.
I had it.
I had 323s instead.
Oh, okay. I didn't want you to put any more commas in there.
Well,
No,
pretty soon, whenever there's an if, there's probably a comma.
okay.
But I haven't read this, so I can't say anything good, bad, or different.
I'm okay with the content. I didn't look it over for punctuation.
No, it's okay.
I have read it and did not see any missing commas.
Any spelling?
Not a skill that I have developed well, but I read really well to me.
Well, I'm prepared to approve the content of the minutes if I,
I would make a motion that we approve we already went that far.
We did. Yeah. It was Bob and Mary Lee.
all in favor?
Aye.
So, now we need a motion to approve the minutes for April 16th.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on those minutes? Hearing none?
Look good to me.
Say again?
Looks good to me.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Abstain, I wasn't there.
So now it's also been brought to light that we may have some issues with the March 23rd minutes.
Yes.
So let's do this, Mary Lee. Can you generate a quick little report on that and submit it to the town office? Because I believe if we go back in the minutes, we've already approved those.
Hand them to them, they're highlighted.
Okay, perfect. So you can see what needs to be corrected, and it sounds like it's not content anyways, it's just
It's spelling,
Spelling
basically.
and,
I mean, commas, don't worry about, but
in the,
there's
We went in-
Indiana's IN, ID.
we went into an executive session and never came out according to
Yeah,
those
we went
minutes, so we
into
have to rectify that.
Executive session and never came out, then went in again
So, okay,
2 more times.
so that doesn't sound like a huge
No,
thing
not
to
a big-
fix. So let's move on to citizens' comments on items that are not on the agenda. We have one person on Zoom, and
One question, Mike, am I on for tonight about trees or?
No.
Okay.
There's a purchase order for the Brooks, they're in there, I'll address it to you. Brooks, we got the invoice put in there today, or Sunday, for Brooks, for the work they did, but there's nothing new.
and that's work that's already done, correct?
Yep.
And I signed off on today on Lanphier for a tree removal that Jeff came to me with, but it was in my spending limit, so authority, so I just signed off on it.
Which is what you're supposed to do if you approve. Okay, so no citizens' comments, so we're going to move on. Let's talk about the,
Mr. Jones, are we on the agenda?
He's gonna read you next.
There you go. Thank you, sir.
so you are representing the Community Health Center of the Rutland region?
No? I'm sorry.
They're Vermont Sports?
Yeah, it's the next one after that.
You're after this?
Perfect.
Community Health Center of the Rutland Region. We got an email from a select board member in Shoreham, which I think you've all had an opportunity to see. He raised a possibility of doing one of two things, either seeing if there's federal pilot money available for this facility, because, well, to give everyone a little background, we have researched, or we got a letter from the Community Health Centers of the Rutland Region that they were no longer required to or willing to pay real estate taxes on their property. And we looked at what they presented to us, and we felt they were probably right. So we submitted it to our attorney, and her opinion was that they are right. So that, that's 10% of the grand list. Right? No,
No.
3 or 4%.
3% of the grand list, excuse me. And, so it's a fairly substantial hit. And, but legally, there was not a lot we could see that we could do about it. And then it turns out we're not the only town that's experiencing this. Shoreham is another one. And Paulette and, Brandon maybe, as well as Rutland Town.
Brandon does have a community.
So, Shoreham got a hold of us, or one of the, a select board member from Shoreham sent us an email suggesting that we collaborate to, send our federal legislators a letter requesting some assistance on this matter. So, all I had done prior to this meeting was make sure that everyone had seen that and that we would needed to be prepared to discuss it now. So, anyone have thoughts?
I can see where he's coming from, because it's not just Castleton people that are going to the medical center, but we're paying the bill. So I can understand where, I can't remember his name, what he
Peter Lynch.
said, and I kind of agree. It seems kind of like there ought to be some compensation somewhere.
I would find it hard to believe that, you know, the total number of people seen there that live in Castleton would even come close to 10%. So from his argument, he's absolutely right. You know, the community health center serves the larger population on this side of Rutland County. It used to be privately owned. It is still privately owned. It used to be a for-pay facility. And I think 10 or 12 years ago, Bernie Sanders was instrumental in getting it changed to a federally qualified healthcare center, which essentially means nobody can be denied treatment. So if you have no insurance or underinsured, everybody gets treatment 24/7, which is a great thing. But maybe he's right, you know, maybe the taxpayers of Castleton shouldn't face the only decrease in that, because the building is still privately owned, but federally run, so it doesn't qualify for pilot money. Like the
Doesn't qualify
university.
for state or federal pilot money.
Correct. It has federal mandates, but the real estate is not owned by the federal government. Bernie Sanders was instrumental in getting that whole federally qualified healthcare center set up. Maybe collectively we could pursue that and see if there was some kind of financial offset. You could certainly make a case that, with it or not, we're fortunate to have that facility in our community, which we are. You know, we have first-class healthcare within 2 miles of anybody that lives in Castleton, and employs a lot of people, and a lot of people come to the community because they have appointments there. But I think it would be worth a conversation with Mr. Lynch.
Okay, I will do that, and then I'll get back to you guys as to what our course of action should be. I think that his suggestion that if we know there's no joy on federal pilot money, which I agree with him, that's probably the case, that we should contact our federal legislators and see if we could get any help from them.
Yeah, I mean, Bernie Sanders has built his career on healthcare for everyone. And he might be able to get some traction there. Again, we're not gonna get anything if we don't ask.
Do we know when that rule changed? Or has it always been the rule that they don't have to pay?
Yeah.
Do we know?
We think that it changed around, or they changed to a nonprofit, privately owned nonprofit about 10 years ago. So it's
Yeah.
very possible that they've been paying real estate taxes for the best part of a decade when they didn't need to.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Now, what they're
yes.
not doing is asking for any
Refund.
refund of any sort. They're
Okay.
just saying that they are now aware they are not required to pay local real estate tax, and they're choosing not to.
Okay, so we think 10 years ago.
Well, that's a educated guess.
Okay,
We could look that up, but I know it's pretty close.
okay.
Maybe 15, but all of 10.
Okay.
Helen?
Helen Steele. If it's privately owned, he owns the business and the property that the business is on?
Well, it's a nonprofit that owns it, so I'm not sure, I don't think there's any one individual that owns it. I think it's owned by a, Mark, you may have more information than I do on this.
So, originally the hospital bought what we called the medical center. And it's a loser in Vermont. I think, I was on the board there for a little while. I think it's something like 75% of the people that go there pay reduced rates through Medicare, Medicaid. You get a bill for $300 and Medicaid pays 60% of it. So it was always a losing venture for the hospital. And somewhere in that 10 or 15 years ago, it became this federally qualified nonprofit health center, which has advantages and negatives. But I don't know at this point if the property still belongs to the hospital or if it belongs to the cooperative.
Right.
But it does not belong to the federal government. But because it's run under federal government guidelines, they're exempt from paying property tax.
I was just wondering if there was a way to separate the business from the property and still get taxed on the property.
It doesn't appear so. I did some research on it and still wasn't comfortable, and the board decided at a couple meetings ago that we would run this by our very excellent attorney, and she agreed that they do not have to pay the tax.
So I'll reach out to Mr. Lynch, and,
It's not gonna hurt us if we draft a letter and send it to federal authorities and say, hey, we're looking for a little bit of help back here. We lost maybe the largest property taxpayer in town,
potentially.
one of the larger.
3.8 million, so it's
How much?
3.8 million.
3.8 million.
So they're on the short list, that's for sure. Certainly within the top 10.
Yeah, it's a big hit for a small community. But again, they can certainly make the case that we're very fortunate to have it here.
Absolutely.
We have world-class primary care 24/7.
So set aside the loss of the property tax income for both the state, or for both the town and the school. What does it cost the town to have that there, I wonder? Excuse me.
Bless you.
I mean,
I
they
don't think
still,
I don't think the town bears any real horribly huge expenses from having that there, do we? I mean, we don't plow the snow. They
They pay for the water.
They pay for the water and the sewer. So, but just if anyone has any thoughts on that could be constructive, please share them with me. Because that could be part of the pitch if we decide that it costs the town $1,000 a year or $20 a year or nothing, or,
I don't think it does.
I don't
Even
think so
not
either.
paying, I think it increases the property value of every homeowner in town.
I'm just asking the board and anyone else to give us some thought, and if you have any ideas that I haven't thought of, please share them with me. Okay, moving on. Rental lease of Castleton Parks and Rec Center to the Vermont Sports Medicine.
So there's representatives here from Vermont Sports Medicine, just to, I think, give their pitch about why it's important for them to be in our community, what they bring to the community, and so, I'm not sure who's going to speak.
Please, yeah,
Please.
Approach the podium.
yes, please come
Approach
to
the
the
bench,
podium.
please.
Introduce yourself so that it's on the recording.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you for having us here tonight. My name is Gina Karlstrom. I'm the clinical director of Vermont Sports Medicine Center. I live in Mendon, Vermont, but I'm here representing our Castleton clinic. We've been in the community. Vermont Sports Medicine Center has been in the community for over 30 years. In Castleton, about 20 or so. And I just wanted to put some faces with the names. We are excited to potentially have the prospect of moving our clinic here. Our clinic has grown exponentially over the past 2 years or so, but really the past couple of years. So we need a larger space. We have provided physical therapy services for Castleton and the surrounding areas. We also have a close relationship with Vermont State University. We accept a lot of their students for internships. They need to get observation hours if they're pursuing a career in physical therapy. Also, a lot of the health sciences students come to observe hours to see if physical therapy is a career that they would like to pursue. Our hopes for the community in a larger space. One, we offer in our other larger clinics what's called a step-down program. So once someone graduates from physical therapy, they're able to sign up for an affordable gym membership, if you will, to use the exercise equipment in the clinic. They're familiar with it, they're in a routine, and that can either be a stepping stone for them to gain confidence and then move on to another gym, or they're just happy in the clinic using the equipment that they're familiar with. Again, in a larger space, we hope to connect more with the community. I know at various times there have been maybe yoga classes here in the school, which we could both use each other as referral sources. So referral sources, we're always looking for our patients to have other opportunities like yoga classes or Tai Chi, whatever things may be. I know that's our hope. Again, we would love to be here in this space. We plan to be here for a long time. So again, just wanted to introduce ourselves, and if you have any questions for us, give you that opportunity to ask us. I also have one of my super PTs who works in the Castleton Clinic specifically, so if you have any specific questions, I have backup.
She's mean, so don't talk to her.
What did you say?
You're tough. She's not mean, she's tough.
I didn't even bring Jackie today, so you got off easy.
Jackie's,
I don't have any questions,
We're used to
but
it.
I have a comment. We're super excited that you guys have become such an integral part of Castleton. I know you've been here a long time, and I see how full your parking lot is.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
And,
Yes.
I know
Very
you're
full.
helping people to stay more active at all ages, particularly older folks, I think.
Yes.
To remain active longer, and we'd be putting all our cards face up. We'd be super excited to have you here. I think it would. Do you know the whole story of this building?
I can't say that I know the whole story.
It was a junior high, and when the school consolidation happened, it was no longer a school. And it was up to the community what we wanted to do with this. And, about half the town had a dream of a rec center, a third place, if you will, where people could get together for whatever recreation is. Maybe that's having coffee together, whatever it is, to be a more healthy community, and some people were skeptical of it. So to have you part of that, it just dovetails so nicely, would be such a symbiotic relationship where what you just mentioned, your clients would hopefully decide that they could use this building more fully, because it's underutilized right now. It just takes a long time to change that culture.
Right.
And maybe some of the folks that are using programs here could see that they could benefit from physical therapy to help them continue to be more active. So I think it's just the perfect win-win situation, and the next step in, solidifying Castleton as the kind of community that we want to live and work in.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think it would be a perfect fit. Our therapists that are present and even the clients that already come, it's a community in itself. And I think it is just gonna grow more and people, sometimes they have to like, okay, your appointment's over, you know, so I.
Go down to the community center.
Yes, yeah. Now like we'll have a
We
bigger
could have like
lobby.
a joint replacement coffee hour I was pitching to the
Yeah.
people who have had
Yes.
joint replacements can mutually like commiserate about the
Exactly,
difficulty of
little.
it.
Well, that's a huge goal that we've had here is, you know, how do we get people that have been particularly shut in, particularly since the pandemic, to find friends in the community? You don't have to go anywhere else, it's right here.
Right.
And we have a tremendous library just across the lawn that those folks do a great job, and this would be a really cool part of it.
Yes, I completely agree. And even for the students, I mean, not that we're that far, but to be walking distance for the students to be able to come here. So not only for their internships, but we do treat a lot of the student athletes.
We're putting in a new sidewalk just so they can walk here better.
I love it. I love it.
That's later in the agenda tonight, but we plan on getting that built soon.
Perfect.
So yeah, it just fits with a whole, you know, more social walking community.
Yes, and I think it can only grow. There's loads of potential with us being in here and working together with the rest of the community.
So thank you for coming in. We're really pleased to meet you, and I'm excited about it as well. I think the rest of the board is in agreement that it would be very good to have you here. I can't speak for the entire board, but,
Keep going, Dick, you're okay.
Yes, right.
so we're
I
looking
love
forward
it.
to it. Is there anything, I think, you know, we've already figured out what you need us to do for you, and I think we're well on our way to getting that done. So is there anything else that you can think of that, I mean, you know, we're doing the AC and we're, you know, you know what you've got to do. We're doing the handicap bathroom already.
Right.
Which we had to do anyway, so, you're gonna take care of the new entrance and that type of stuff, I believe.
I'm gonna
correct?
peek over my shoulder to see, yes, yes,
You got the head nod
So-
back.
yes, yes.
So you're working on getting a lease agreement in place that's mutually agreeable. And I think that will probably land on fertile soil with this board.
Wonderful.
So, I don't know, I don't have anything more to add.
Let's have an open communication, first name relationship for decades.
Love it. I love it. Wonderful.
When I'm old and feeble and I can't walk anymore, I'll come see you.
Right here.
Right here.
We will be right here.
It'll be next week.
I'm a veteran of joint replacement. I see someone else about that, but I totally get how arduous that is.
Excellent. I mean, not that part, but I mean, that you appreciate what where
Excellent,
we're
yeah.
coming
I'm getting
from.
to the point, I'm 6 months out from a total knee replacement,
Super.
and I'm thinking, now, I'm getting to the point now where I think it's actually was worth it.
Yes, that you're.
That's about right.
That's about
Yeah.
right. That's exactly.
So
the
3
timing
months
is
ago,
that.
I wasn't quite so sure.
Yes, that's-
Well, I knew it would be because, you know, but it's pretty arduous.
It is. It is.
Can I provide an update when you're done?
Please do.
When you guys move in, do you think that young lady can leave her car down where you are now? Just gonna-
My car?
So the horn doesn't go off?
That wasn't even my car, actually.
You're getting blamed for it. Okay. Whoever's car it was,
Put it in the way
we
back.
don't want it here.
That's right.
Well, here, we have a new tradition now. Whatever happens in this building, no matter where you are, it's your fault.
You know, that sounds about right for the other buildings you were in already,
So,
so. Just
nothing
keep
changed?
bringing it on, I can
Okay.
handle it.
All right, so I think
Mike is going.
Mike has to speak, and then,
Just wanted to update everybody that I talked to McClure Construction today, not next week, the week after. They're gonna be coming in here to finish up everything, and they're gonna start working, and they're gonna not stop till they're done. So it'll just, we're their priority at that point. Merrill Bent is an attorney that I've been going back and forth with forever on the contract, draft lease agreement. We had to add in one thing because they wanted to add some windows on this room back here on both sides. So I had to get that added in there, but Mike and I talked, and so 30 days he asked for the contract, so I should have the draft back, and then the board can look at that as well. But and then, like I said, following, not next week, but the week following, they'll be in here to finish up the bathrooms and the AC and all that good stuff.
so best guess, when do you move in?
Fall? Fall?
Okay,
That would be
forward to
awesome.
it. We'll look forward to it.
Awesome. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so very much for your time.
Thanks
most
for
welcome.
coming in, we
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wish they were all that easy.
Yeah.
Okay, coin drop requests. This shouldn't be that bad.
They in our packet.
This is your, yeah, right here. Pull the spreadsheet out.
Okay. Got the policy.
So we have all 6 coin drops scheduled already, Mike?
Request in, that nobody from the first 5 on that list, not counting the Rainbow Riding Center, had asked for a second date. Because if you read the policy, it says April 30th, somebody could request another one. But the Rainbow Riding Center had submitted one, so that would round out all of the ones that are available per the policy, if you approve that.
Is the Rainbow Riding Center a nonprofit?
There are letters in here, right?
Says they are.
Okay.
I've never, this is the first that they've asked for something. We've never dealt with that organization before.
If they're not, if they're a place that helps out kids?
It's 501c3 Therapeutic Riding Center.
Okay. So what's the board's pleasure? I would say that I have no problem with these requests or this list, and I think probably we can just approve it as presented, can't we?
You can, and there was no conflict in anything, so they're all the,
If that's your pleasure, board.
Did you just say, Mike, that the Rainbow Riding Center has a second date? Do you want to give us that, or?
they don't have, no, they didn't list a second
They
date.
didn't list that?
But nobody had asked for none of the Lions Clubs, middle school, rec commission, fire department, or community center asked for 2 of them. So what they've asked for was their primary date and an alternate date.
Yep, okay.
I'm not in favor of any of it, to be honest with you. I've never been in favor of coin drops. I think that 3 of these organizations already have line items on ballots and are supported generously by the community. The Rainbow Riding Center, they probably do great work. I don't know, they're in Belmont. You know where Belmont is?
I do.
I mean, it's a long ways away. I don't know if anyone from our community benefits or not, or if that even should be a criteria. Overall, I'm not in favor of having people stand in the road and ask for money, especially when it's for programs that were already funded from a ballot item, but that's just my opinion.
I disagree. I think if the stuff that the Lions Club does and the recreation and the fire department, if we can give them a little more help, then I think we should do so.
Well, make a motion to approve them.
Okay, I will. I make the motion that we approve this 2026 coin drop requests as presented.
I'll second that.
Is there any more discussion on this?
Just to be double sure, before these are set up, they're approved by the police department where the location is, that they're in a safe spot?
If they follow the coin drop policy, yes, they're supposed to reach out to the PD to make sure they let them know where they're gonna be and what time. And then there's, at the very back of the policy is the signage, and they're supposed to adhere to that as well.
Good.
I believe the police department shows up on scene like 15 minutes before.
Yes.
Yes.
So you make sure they're
Right.
operating within
They follow
guidelines.
us, Whoever's in charge of it gets a hold of me, or my officers. We just make sure the signs are in the right place.
I didn't review our policy this year again, but I believe our policy says that no one under the age of 16 can be in the road.
It does have that in there.
So, there's no kids in the road at any rate.
Children ages 10 to 16 years old may solicit under the direct supervision of an adult associated with the group, organization, or association and who shall remain within 3 feet of the minor children at all times. Children under 10 years of age shall not be allowed in the town highway, road, or street for purposes of coin drop activities.
So our kids will be safe, that's the thing that I wanted to make sure everyone was aware of. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll move on. Chief, you're up.
Good evening.
All right. Kind of, everybody's got a copy of my report, right?
Yes.
You do?
Okay, so let's kind of go over the calls of service. We are up a little bit. That there's 3 of them I want to go over more in depth. There's also notes about some of these. So if you look at the second page where it says informational assist non-resident, 38. You see that?
Yeah.
So that was I created that because we were getting so many calls in the last probably 3-4 years of non-residents wanting assist, coming from Pulteney, Fairhaven, Hubbardton, West Rutland. Why they call us? Probably because they know that somebody will answer the phone. I have no idea. Non-emergency stuff. So we really weren't tracking that. I've mentioned it in a couple of presentations prior, so I created this and I talked with the officer, said, look, it's in reference to non-residents, non-Castleton residents that call on our non-emergency line, which is our duty cell phone or at the office, and are inquiring about whether they want to report something or a resource. We kind of just give them the resource, tell them this is Castleton, you can call this number, or so on and so on. So we're logging them now. So last month we had 38. And that's quite a bit. We get a lot during the day. So that's new. That's a new one. You'll see that number change.
That's not something you really can control though, is it?
No, and it's all right. You know, we're part of the mission in policing is information and education, kind of. So you know, people are inquiring. You know, how do I get an order? Some of these people, you know, don't have computer access. They just, you know, don't know how things go. The protocols that do it today. So I think it's a good thing. So that's what that is. Mental health. We just had 5 more last March, and you know. Warm weather, people get out more, and they walk around more. And if you go to the traffic stops, we did quite a bit in March as the weather has changed. Just kind of going over the differences of different things on the service calls. Any questions on any other service calls there?
Just a quick question, when you get the calls from other towns, what do you do if it's an emergency call? You just said non-emergency calls, so if it's...
Well, we never get those, because most people do call 911, which
Okay.
then would go to the PSAP in Westminster, or depending on this side from Fairhaven, it would go into Washington County, so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Any other questions on that? Okay, arrest, as you can see, we're up on arrests from 5 to 8 last month. You can see we had more domestic calls in March. You know, some of that is a reflection of people who've just been inside all winter. Just serious people get more on edge. And then toward that end, they're ready to just run out of the building and get violent. It happens. Nothing there, so let's go with traffic violations. So the one I circled there, you see where it says traffic control devices? I went up from 3 to 11. Where do you think that is, that location? Take a guess.
Coverage and
No? Huh?
Four corners.
Four corners. At nighttime, we've, because it goes on the blinking mode at, I think, 11. People blow right through that. And we actually got.
Through the red?
Yeah. Well, it's a four-way stop at that point.
It
Oh,
blinks-
okay.
And go,
Blinks
stop
red
and
four
go.
ways.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if anybody knew that. It's been like that the state changed that probably, 2 years ago, I think? And we've gotten actually a few DUIs from that. So the officers will watch that for not all night, but a period of time during the late evening.
We did ask them to move, the state to move the no turn on red signal back, or so that people are closer to the intersection, and they wouldn't do it. Because a lot of people it's right on red unless otherwise marked, but you drive past the sign, then stop, and there's nothing there that says no turn on red, and so a lot of people do turn on red there, and if the PD is there, then they get some attention.
Well, I think the signs are big enough. You're approaching it. If you can't see that sign, those are pretty big signs.
I've had people honk at me when I'm sitting at the four
That's
corners.
right.
I want to turn right to go west on
Yeah.
4A, and I have people honk at me when I wait for the light to turn green.
I got somebody before I left on vacation, I was right behind them. They pulled right up by the mobile. Oh, I didn't know, It's like, yeah.
That sign's bigger than a bicycle, you should
It's
see
big.
it.
It is there are big signs. Calls of service for the Castleton University and off-campus housing. So this is all in reference to the university and the off-campus housing reference to students. And you can see the calls, we jumped up big time. This time of year, coming April, you'll see probably more. And then May before graduation, it's the activity occurring off-campus and on-campus with the university students.
Young people making potentially poor choices.
It's that time of year. And as you can see what some of them are: mental health, noise disturbance, suspicious persons, usually intoxicated, alcohol offense. Yeah. So we're tracking all that. Backup provided by us, as you can see in March. 4 to Fairhaven, 1 to Hubbardton, 1 to Ira, that's VSP. Backup provided to us, and you can see what those were in March. Any questions on that, on the informational stats, anything like that? Go through some of these paragraphs. I've already mentioned a few of them. We talked about the domestics, calls of service increasing because of the weather, traffic enforcement increasing, calls university, I talked about those, and then the non-residents piece, which is paragraph 3, I talked about. We will be, we did put the radar sign back up on Creek Road, so they're all still functioning. They're all still charging with their solar panels. We will, we have 2 other carts that will deploy at some point for request. I'll check with Justin if anybody's called, but I haven't had any calls from specific areas. Sometimes it's West Castleton will talk about it. We put one up there before, but the main roads have all got them. Transients, population, unhoused people. So as the weather changes, they have come across people at night, and now they're just sleeping in their cars throughout different locations, whether it's down the exit 5 area there, Green Dump, along the lake. Justin had one car was parked right by, right on Main Street, right next to R&D's driveway up there. They were parked there because the vouchers have ended for the winter housing. So all they're moving around. No reports that we've had of, we had one stolen car last, which it was in the calls of service, that was my case, where a student on campus had left the car and locked it, was a key fob, left the key fob in there. Door was unlocked, they just pushed the button, it started and took it, dropped it off in West Rutland. It was found, no damage. So that's another thing, just letting people know that keep your car doors locked, because this is the time that they end up getting pawed through. But we haven't had, it's been working. Any questions on the report?
I notice when I drive around, I've seen fewer unhoused, transient, drug-addicted thieves hanging out at the park and ride and at Dewey Field, so kudos for keeping that cleaned up.
Yeah, we do have those are targeted areas, especially now. Do you want me to bring up, Mike, you and I talked about?
It's next on the agenda, but.
Okay. So any questions on the report?
I have no questions. Rest of the board okay?
I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Dick?
I think you and your department do an excellent job.
Thank you.
You want to make a comment?
Please.
Go ahead.
So for the board, and for Chief, because he's looking how tan he is, he just got back from Florida. For that passive grant that the board approved, we've been putting cameras in at all of our facilities over the last 3 years. Justin is the one that does the passive grant. So we talked to, Justin talked to Royals, and there's a way to put cameras at Dewey Field where we don't have to put internet and stuff down there. It's through I call it like a hotspot, but on the back of this building, as long as it has line of sight down to Dewey Field, it'll jump off this building's camera system. And Justin asked me if they could get a feed into the PD for all these cameras, all these facilities, and they can. They just got to provide a screen off a computer system, and they will be able to, the PD will be able to see all the parking lots and stuff at all of our facilities now. The beach, here, town office, transfer station, highway garage, and now Dewey Field. So, because there has been damage that's been done down there, so we want to protect what the investment that the town's going to make in the playground equipment and everything else. So that will be paid for, 50% of that will be paid for by the grant. So thanks again for Justin for taking that active role in that, and it'll be a benefit for not just this build at Rec, but down at the Dewey Field as well.
Huge benefit.
So that means our officers can randomly look at anything.
Yeah, right now, none of them are tied in.
Yeah, but it sounds like in the future, they'll be able to randomly just look at anything, or they could just step through a bunch of screens and look and see.
Well, especially then then we can look through it and download it, if
Right.
there's damage or cars down there that we're not there, and at least we try to get some information on it.
But also, you did a quick survey of all the different cameras, and if you see something that doesn't look
Correct.
right, you can
Yeah.
take a ride down.
Yeah, and they could do it on their phone too, so they have a duty cell phone, so they could have it right in the car, and, it'll be a big benefit, I think. And I also wanted to thank the PD, Pete, while you were gone. We had that complaint on West Castleton about zoning violation, and Chief had made that coordination for that person to come in and talk to us. They did. Justin was there as well, since complaints kind of cross boundaries, and it was a positive engagement, and there's some follow-up that's going to happen, and so the PD was part of that too, so thank them.
Great, thanks, Chief.
Absolutely.
That it?
All right. Don't run away.
I know what you're gonna ask me.
The next item on the agenda, and I had nothing in my packet on this, so I didn't bother going through my history either, about use of ATVs and utility task vehicles on town roads.
All right.
We discussed this a while ago.
Yeah, it's been stalemated since I did all the research back in, before January, I think I had it all. So I just, before I came over here, I had downloaded Pulteney's town ordinance, because I had talked with, was it Sarah down there? I forget her
The
name.
rec lady,
Was it Susan, Sarah?
Sarah.
She had sent it to me, and you know, this has always been my concern. So it depends on how the town wants to go with this. I could develop an ordinance for specific roads, but you're not gonna be able to connect anybody unless you go on private property, and then you can list that stuff, that if they have to get permission, you can't use the vast trails. They don't want people to use the vast trails, they want that only for the snowmobiles. So, because we have two major routes, US routes, 4A and 30, which dissects and splits the town up. I mean, you can cross them, but how are you gonna get there? And whose property are you gonna go to? You can't go down Route 30. So it's different than the other towns, because I looked at their list and all their roads they put, and I went through it, before when I started the research, I contacted Newport, which is a pretty big town. They love it up there. They drive right into town and park and everything. Now, I don't know what they have for actual US routes up there, or state roads, I should say, because it only applies to town highways. That's all we can apply it to, the ordinance. And would it be an advantage, because, you know, the pressure that the community, I'm hearing bits and pieces of it, not a lot of it. No one's really approached me recently on it, but I've heard bits and pieces, because everybody around us is, you know, trying to get the same thing happen, and most of them have. But we're a unique town. We got a lot of traffic on these roads. You know, I mean, even East Hubbard Road, we had that accident way back last year, involving a UT vehicle, ATV. So, I don't know. I personally don't like it. I think it'll create more problems for us, personally. That's just me. But they're gonna have to register them, they're gonna have proof of insurance, and they gotta have a license. They operate these even on our town highways. We can do that.
So, Pete, if I understood what you said, we can't give them permission to go on Route 4A at all.
Only cross it in a 90-degree, just like you do a snowmobile.
Okay.
But then what property are they gonna go on to?
Yeah, well, that's their issue.
Yeah.
That's the issue. The town is in 4 separate quadrants from Castleton Corners.
Yeah.
And you couldn't use an ATV, if we had an ordinance, you couldn't use it to get gas or food anywhere.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And that's what they're looking to do, I will tell you that.
Yeah, probably, and then they wanna be able to connect everybody.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. They wanna connect all the townships and be able to travel.
I just want to get it straight, that they can't be on Route 30 and they cannot be on
Cannot be on
Route 4A.
state highways.
Okay.
Period.
Okay.
They can cross it at 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they gotta get to that point to cross
But they
it.
can't even go down that road 100 yards
Yeah,
legally.
yeah.
Nope.
Okay, all right.
Now, I'm not against, I don't wanna, listen, I've had ATVs, motorcycles, I understand all that, and snowmobiles. But on my side, I look at it for public safety. Because, you know, once something like this passes, you know how many we're gonna see them all over?
Yeah, you better add a line to your report about ATV incidents, because no doubt that people are gonna call and say, somebody just went screaming up past me with no helmet on, blah, 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 and it's not registered, so it's gonna it would probably increase the calls that the PD would.
Well, and here's the other, and I know I'm looking on the negative side of it, because I've been in pursuits with an ATV, and you know what they do? They just get off the road. You're not gonna catch them. So you just.
Would this
play the-
include golf carts too?
Technically, yeah. Technically, yes. Now, there are a lot of townships, I mean, you go to Florida, I mean, people can ride them things everywhere, except on state highways, obviously.
No, today, right down here on Route 4A, there was a kid on the electric scooter, no helmet, down 4 and right up 30.
I followed one in this morning, actually, going right down Route 30 and was turning onto 4A. He was right in front of me.
Blue shirt?
They're not under.
Blue shirt?
He had a backpack, I know that.
Oh,
But the rules for them are different because they're not considered a vehicle. It's just like a bicycle. So technically, they don't have to have a helmet.
So not a motor vehicle.
So they legally can do that, what you just said?
Absolutely. There's quite a few of them around here that have those. I've seen, how about the little Sedgway, not Sedgway, but the little board, the electronic board that fly, there's a few of the students that have those.
Yeah.
I've seen them they come down on Main Street.
They're legal.
I think for the ATVs, if a decision was made, one way or the other, that we should get put it on a ballot and get the recommendation of the voters. I mean, the select board has to say yay or nay. And if the majority of people in the community want it, I would hate to be here and vote against it. But I'm not really in favor of it for the reasons the chief mentioned. I just don't see where it would be advantageous. I know I've seen communities in New Hampshire where they have it. People can stay at the motels and restaurants, and then they use the roads to drive to a ATV park where they use them. But we don't have that. You know, and I would be afraid of people just riding up and down the same roads.
But there's also a time frame. I noticed in theirs that they put it in there that they cannot drive between 9 PM to 7 AM.
Is that pretty common, Pete?
Yeah, on night, yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. So, I mean, we can restrict it. Well, we all know, we have a hard enough time with people driving cars. Following the law, let alone an ATV.
At this point, I'm not really prepared to ask you to commit any resource to creating an ordinance. At this point, I think your time could be better spent. So that's only my opinion, though.
Well, I like Mark's idea, put it to the public. Of course, we just missed the vote, but.
I mean, how they did it in Pulteney, they did that, and then they put it to the public first, and then they developed an ordinance, and then the select board passed it, or signed it.
I think that might be our best approach. I agree with Mark that if we do this, we should ask the voters. And I'm not prepared to ask you to put any resource into this until that happens. But I'm only 20% of the board, once again. If the
But I
rest
think
of the
there
board
should
wants
be,
you to
I
do
think,
that.
I think before, if we ever get to that point in the town to do that, there's gotta be an educational piece in there, where there's gotta be a presentation of understanding that it's not just a free-for-all, that there's, you know, there's gonna be an ordinance behind it, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because they have to comply with regulations and be sober.
And we have state laws too, I mean, they're motor vehicles.
Yeah.
I did want to bring up one thing, I don't want you, we kind of stopped on the traffic ordinance. So I don't know if you got all the last draft I gave, I know Mike gave me one. Did you find anything in there that you want to change? You remember getting those, the back? Because that's ready.
I thought we were ready to move forward with that.
Well, I hadn't got everybody's input, whether all the corrections, I had gotten Mike's, had sent me stuff. So I don't know if there's any other things that you
The last time we discussed it with you, the only concern I had was e-bikes, and I still have that concern, but, you know, we
Yeah, that's
comply with.
that's an easy fix.
Yeah, and that's the only concern I had.
The only question I had, I know in there it says that bicycles have to follow all the regulations of the road like cars and motorcycles.
Correct.
Is there any qualifying consideration for how far vehicles have to stay from a bicycle?
No. I mean, cars, they, you know, there's the 2-second rule, there's, I think if you look in the drive between cars, they say 2 seconds, but it's because you count something, if you have 2 seconds, it's just a stopping distance, but then when you get close traffic, everybody's tight. I mean, this guy was right in the intersection, he's right in front of me. I think the same thing will apply. Like if somebody's tailgating a bike and they're in the lane,
Or if they're passing a bicycle?
or passing a bicycle, yeah.
It's a 3-foot, every town that I go in, you've got to stay 3 foot away from them.
Is that a law?
No, I don't know, I don't think that's a law. You just have to,
There's signs right there,
Is it?
it says you got to be 3 feet away from them. I don't know.
in this state?
I don't know how,
You've seen them in this state?
well, I don't know about that, because I
I've
go
never
out of
seen
state a
those.
lot, but,
Yeah.
yeah. But it's difficult, because if the bicycle's here, to be 3 foot away from them, you're going across the yellow line, a lot of times, so.
Oh, I do
I
that.
guess they just don't want you, you
Correct.
know, just give them as much space as, whether it's a law or not.
I mean,
They have signs out there saying that.
I mean, even right now, there's people that run, walk, I give them, like in Creek Road or East Harbor Road, a lot of walkers and people riding bikes, and I give them plenty of time when I go around them. That's like, it's like going about, if it's slow moving, and as long as they're not going the speed limit, you got a right to get around them. Slow moving traffic, you just gotta make sure there's nothing coming at you. Crossing the yellow line's not the issue, it's the speed, and do you have the right of way to get around there safely? So, what do you want me to do, Chairman?
I'm ready for you to proceed with that.
Okay, so I can deal with that. I got Mike's corrections. I gotta remove two roads off, and then I'll have it ready for the next meeting. How's that?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Do the four-wheelers, do they have to get a petition put up to have it on the ballot?
No, we can make that decision.
We make that decision?
We can make that decision. We
Okay.
have the authority to put a question like that on the ballot.
Okay, all right.
If we so choose.
Okay. I just don't wanna be, 6 months go by and then, what are you guys doing? That's all.
That would be a good way to qualify it though, right? What do you need, 5% of the voters?
Yes. To force a question, yes.
I mean, I guess you can get 5% of people to sign anything, but if there's a group of people in town that really want to forward it, that might be a good way to start,
Create some awareness.
yeah. See if there's support for it.
So if I forget, Mark, it's your responsibility to remind us next year when we're putting the warning together to at least consider putting that on the ballot.
I will.
And if you forget, it's Bob's fault.
Okay.
Okay, moving on. Fire department update.
I talked to the chief, he's not gonna be here, but I got the report from Dan Ducharme. One of the things he wanted to make sure got passed on to the board was that all of the apparatus that requires a state inspection has been completed.
I also read his note about the call for the landing zone. That was quite a fiasco.
That was definitely a cluster.
Point that out to us, Dick, what did you,
This call here was,
okay.
apparently they landed at the medical
They landed at the
center.
medical center. They didn't follow any of the protocols that were already in place about this. They didn't ask anybody. So they came in to the medical center. Of course, it was people in the parking lots and cars, and the rotor wash just blew debris everywhere. We have a approved landing zone at the elementary school, and Poultney has one down there too, and they chose, or Hampton, I'm sorry. They chose to, they put them right down in the parking lot of the medical center.
They being who, Mike? Can you?
Dispatch.
State dispatch made this decision. Now,
To put it right in the parking lot.
what firm, which helicopter agency was it?
I don't know if it was Albany or if it was Burlington, or New Hampshire, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's a,
I'm surprised the pilots did that.
Yeah.
It's
well,
definitely
they were asked to divert, according to this, did you read the report? And they were asked to divert to the Castleton Elementary School, and they said they were on their final approach, and they refused to divert from the medical center to the elementary school. And they landed at the medical center, which, I don't know what time of day it was. Did the report actually say that, and I didn't see it, Mark, or did it?
I didn't see it.
I just, doesn't sound safe to me. I mean, I've been involved with many of these landings over the years, and
I mean,
the
the rotor
elementary
wash,
school is a much better place to do it.
it kind of browned out part of Route 30, a section, across the road on Route 30.
When that gentleman got hurt on East Hubbardton Road, we landed him in a hayfield, and that was a pretty safe place. And, but the parking lot at the medical center doesn't sound like a good place to land a helicopter.
There's been an increase in burn permit request to the fire warden, who's the fire chief. There's no written permit they need to fill out. They call Heath. He has a log, he logs it in that way, and he passes it out to his officers and over the Facebook page if needed, to let people know that there's burn permits out there, because the phone calls do start when people see smoke and don't know that there's a burn permit. But we've been getting a lot of VT alert stuff on fire dangers right now because of the the ground, is, the top stuff is materials dry right now, and so it's high, right now it's on high danger for the fires. So he will issue them, or depending on that. But if anybody, I say this because I've been getting phone calls saying, how do I request a burn permit? And there's no form, it's just a phone call. So we're gonna have to clarify that on the website, make sure it's clear.
And it's that time of year, I have a scanner in my shop and hear calls for wildland fires almost, but not quite every day.
The fire department just did a controlled burn up by the reservoir up on Ellis Orchard. So they got some training on doing some wildland stuff up there, so. They're staying up on it, and we definitely have a lot more equipment now that, between the passive, or not the passive grant, the wildland fire grant and the money that was given to the fire department. So they have, instead of wearing turnout gear, wildland fires, they're actually in wildland gear. They have new pump, those old metal Indian pumps are kind of the way of the dinosaur, and now they're collapsible. They hold a half gallon more, so everybody doesn't like to wait, but yeah, we have some good equipment now too.
Nice. I see we have, what, 3 people that passed firefighter 1 and 2?
Yep. They did.
I know you don't have an assistant now, it'd be nice to send a letter to the fire department commendating that, congratulating them and thanking them.
Well, it still can happen.
Let them know they're appreciated by the community.
Okay.
That's a pretty big commitment now.
It is, it's a huge commitment.
Yeah, it's about 3 times the hours it was when I did it. That was a few years ago, though.
Right, it used to be called the 40-hour training
It
class.
was 80 when I did it. And now it's over 200.
You were slower.
What?
Took you longer.
No, it was 80 hours when I did it. Ray Davidson, live. But now it's over 200.
Yeah, it's a big commitment.
I owe the board a copy of an ordinance for the fire alarm stuff. So Justin did his own research, I've done mine. We've got a draft started for an ordinance to bring back to the select board for false alarm calls. So we'll get that to the board in May.
Good.
All right, we're gonna move on. Let's talk about Dewey Field.
All right. So update on Dewey Field. I'm still waiting for some quotes from playground companies, but I was called by, I received a phone call or a text, I don't remember, I think it was a text from Rob advising that the Legion wanted to do something to help out, and they're coming up on, both civic organizations, the Legion and the Lions, both wanted to do something. So I told them I would, once I get these quotes back, to come up with a suggestion on how they can participate and help in this. One of them was that ADA compliant playground, a piece of equipment. So I'm trying to be cognizant of, the price, and come up with a suggestion or recommendation that they could participate in, that would get that ADA compliant piece of equipment down there, so that those that have a child or whoever needs would need that type of piece of equipment to participate, that we would have that. So it's kind of it's inclusive. So I'm just waiting for this one company out of Texas to give me, I think I sent it to you guys an email tonight late, my response back to them about it. So just trying to get this thing moving along, but it's been
The only thing you gotta keep in mind, the Lions Club only has 3 more
yeah.
meetings
Yeah.
before they close for the summer.
Yeah, so, I was aware, they shared that Rob shared that with me, so I know. So if I can get that done by the beginning of next week, to get something out to both organizations as a suggestion, I'll
Great.
work on that to get it done so that they have time to be able to discuss it at their meetings. Today, I received out of the blue text from Rick Hall. They found the water curb stop shut off down there.
Did they?
Not close to where everyone thought it was, but they did find it. So I've been talking with Paul on and off all day, talking with Paul McClure about getting the water turned on, because he put a new ball valve in the bathroom, and so before they turn the water on, somebody needs to be inside to make sure that that valve is A, shut off, and 2, it doesn't leak after they turn the water on. And then once that's established and we determine it's not leaking or it is leaking, Paul will do what he needs to do to make sure that the plumbing all works. I spoke with the wastewater guys today, and as soon as the power is connected into the building, they will work on the pumps, the sewer portion of that. The Green Mountain Power is not put in the pole yet, so I talked, according to Rutt, he was down there today. I was down there on Friday, so I got to follow up with Green Mountain Power to find out why they haven't put it in yet. But the water, when they dug the holes looking for that curb stop, those holes are still filled with water. So Kerry Fowler and Rick Hall were absolutely 100% right when they said that the water table underneath that aquifer area is very, very high. That 20-inch hole, 24-inch hole is full of water, and it's been that way since they dug it. So when they put the power pole in, because it's close to where the power pole is, that might be in water. But I will share that with GMP when I talk to them. But so that once they get the power pole installed, there'll be a line run from the pole to a pedestal on the side of the building where Paul will put the meter, and the power will come in at that point. And the light will be functional, the floodlight to illuminate the parking lot, so that hopefully some of the nefarious activity that goes on will not go on. And plus we'll get the cameras down there as well, so that will hopefully help. There's a gate. We have Jeff Davison's working on the cost for the gate. They're not expensive, but to be able to close that off, and I just got to talk to Pete about doing when his officers do their rounds and checks to close the gate at that dusk to dawn type thing. I get it, if there's something going on an active call, they might not make it down there at exactly on time, but was to have that closed at dusk to dawn. But at least they can't drive onto the field. After all this time and money we spent on that, with Casellas being down there and putting all those stones down there, to leave the small window to drive up by the building and onto the fields would be a criminal. So Jeff's working on getting the prices for that. And I was called today by Jackie Phillips from the high school, and they have their Green Up Day group, and she asked if there's anything they could do in town. And a plug for them is they'll actually do private homes as well. So if someone in town is in need of some work to help clean up their lawn and stuff like that, they'll actually come and do that as well. So they put it out in the community. She said last year it was pretty robust, and this year they've only got 3 requests. But I asked her they're going to come to Dewey Field. They're going to go from the park and ride down Main Street down to Dewey Field, picking up garbage, and they're going to paint the dugouts. We just got to provide the materials. So I had a joint call with Micah and Jackie today. They're going to directly coordinate that, but they're going to paint the dugouts as well.
Nice.
So
I know the community center is always looking for help maintaining their walking trail if there's extra help there.
yeah, I'll mention it because they said they were looking for, they bus them to these areas too, so multiple locations isn't an issue. Time might be the issue, but the getting them there is not. I'll link them up with the community center. I thought about them, but I know that they did their own green up thing, so I'm not, but if it's the walking trails, I'll mention it to them. And Paul's changing the locks down there on the Dewey Field building, so they're all keyed the same. And because we did find the keys, because we were looking for them, and I had a key that fit just one bathroom, but not the rest of the doors. So there's 3 of them down there, so they're gonna be all keyed alike, and we'll have control over who has keys as well.
Nice.
So that's pretty much it on Dewey Field.
Nice work, Mike.
Thank you, Mike. Let's talk about a gym floor then.
Okay, gym floor. I gave you Danaher's, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, their bid. The other company, you have that in your packet too. They didn't, that's that PAS one you got in your hand, Dick, your left hand? Yeah, they just got that to me today. So they missed the bid opening on the 22nd. They wrote an email why they missed it, but per our bid policy, they didn't have their bid in on time. So it's up to the board how they want to handle it, but you've got the Danaher's and the change order number 2, Lori from Danaher confirmed to me that everything that was in change order 2 concerning testing of the asbestos and mop boards and floor level, all that stuff's in their bid. So you have both of them. And I would just want to point out that the one from, I forgot the name, PAS, was not received until today.
So are you expecting a decision tonight?
Well, I
Because,
don't know if, I probably would assume that you're not going to want to do that because you just got it.
yeah, this is the first we've seen this.
And I did write to Lori, and I think I shared that with you, that addendum 2 was not published I couldn't publish anything on their website, and so I didn't even open their bid on the 22nd, because if it had to be extended, I didn't want that to be compromised, so that they could say, oh, you knew our bid and you shared that with someone or whatever. No, there could be no allegations made, so I didn't open it, and then when she confirmed to me today that everything was in there, I opened it, and that's what I provided to you.
So that's from the Donner?
Yeah, Danaher, yeah. So you have it now. So
Should we meet with Friends of Rec and make a decision on this?
I think it would warrant having that decision, because that was part of the agreement too, that they would be part of that process.
Yeah.
That now that we have it, it's been opened, I think, in my opinion, per our policy, that they'd be the only bidder to consider, because the other one didn't submit it
Danaher.
on time. Yeah. So if the board wants to do that, or two members of the board, or however you guys want me to set it up, that,
So Mark, are you willing to meet with Andy?
Yes.
Okay,
I know you guys like to meet with Andy, but I'm leading the fundraising, so if I could be in on that meeting too, that would be great.
What's your name?
Mary McIntyre.
Okay. Do you have is there a Friends of Rec meeting this Thursday?
We just had one last Thursday, but we can certainly meet with you.
so when you call Andy, tell him that Mary would love to be present as well.
Okay, so I'm gonna set up the meeting,
Yes, you are.
and do you have any time parameters?
I don't, no, I'm pretty flexible, so I'll be happy to attend as well.
Mary?
If it could be 5 o'clock-ish, I don't get out of work until 4:30.
Until what time?
I don't get out of work till 4:30.
Okay, so 5 o'clock-ish, is there particular days?
We have Lions on Monday, and you guys have select board on Monday, so any other day than that?
I'm gonna try for this Thursday.
I could do that.
We have a fire district meeting at 6.
I'm sorry, what?
We have a fire district 2 meeting at 6
On Thursday?
on Thursday.
Could you meet at 5?
Sure.
I think we could get this done in 30 minutes.
Certainly less than an hour.
Yeah. I know you guys wanna get this wrapped up, so.
Yes. And just so again, Mary McIntyre, just so that, we raised $3,500 on the pasta dinner, and rave reviews are still coming in on that. So not only are we raising money, but we're really building community, and now we're up to $65,000 in our gym fund.
Super.
Nice.
So Mark, when you get that firmed up, let me know where I need to be.
Yep, I'm gonna try and, so at this point, I just need to touch base with Andy.
Yep.
And if that works, let's tentatively plan on Thursday at 5 o'clock.
Right here.
Wherever you want, Mark, you tell me.
This would probably be, you have a key?
Yes.
Okay. We'll try and do Thursday, 5 o'clock right here.
Okay.
And you have all this information?
No,
So I have copies that I can send to you, Mary, and to Andy ahead of time. And if you can pass that over to Mark, that came with the packet.
Great.
Here you go, Mark.
Thank you.
It's a sample of the flooring and the colors and all that good stuff.
Okay, so we're gonna meet hopefully Thursday at 5 here.
I'm gonna text Andy right now, and hopefully we can know before we leave.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. Next item on the agenda is, unless there's anything else on this. Are we good? So the fifth and sixth grade sports discussion, I will apologize. We should have, at the beginning of the agenda discussion, asked to postpone that till May 11th. So if the board agrees, that's what we'll do.
Micah wanted to be here as part of it, that's why.
That's why we're postponing it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're gonna move,
Not that it matters, but I won't be here on the 11th.
make sure,
Bermuda.
You are
lucky.
cruising,
Rub it right in.
traveling.
Keep wearing those shirts that you're wearing.
Make sure your thoughts on that matter are known to
Okay,
one of us.
okay, I do have some thoughts on that, so,
Could be me, Bob, Mark, Rob, whoever you're comfortable with.
okay.
Shouldn't be two, though. Should only be one.
I can't have two votes?
No. But that way, we're making
Yeah.
sure we're totally in the up and up. Okay, we're gonna move on to transfer station fee schedule. So the only things you really wanna change are mattresses and bag fee?
Well, the discussion part of that would be, the scale fee definitely is, I wouldn't mess with, that's so high comparatively around. But our bag fees are low comparatively, and definitely the mattresses, because the cost of getting rid of them is way beyond what we're collecting. Even if we start taking the stuff to Hubbard's, which they don't charge by the piece, the mattress, it's by weight though, and we're still not making, we're not paying our costs. So I looked at this, and we tried changing the permits, and that was a miserable failure. People didn't like it. So basically, you could take 3 white bags and put them in one of the contractor bags. So I think that was a little bit off, because it's triple, so it should be $750 rather than $6. And I put $7 on there, and just, I don't know how the board feels on it, but it's going to raise our revenue, which we all can agree, based upon revenues and expenditures, that we're in the red. And if we don't do something to solve that problem, then the taxpayers end up paying any difference. And if we're not making bank, I guess we'll call it that. And the rest of this stuff, talking to Heath, that we're kind of, it's all good. The tires and the Freon and the chairs and all that kind of stuff, we're competitive. And what we are seeing is a trend. More and more people are going across the scale. And no matter what we say, I say we, like I've got a mouse in my pocket, but the crew up there will tell them, it's $18 minimum. So if you have 2 bags, or, a contractor bag and a white bag, or that and, something else in there, if it's under 200 pounds, you might be better off just paying for it by the piece, but people just want the convenience and say, I'm just gonna go across the scale and not deal with it. So for us, people going across the scale is a moneymaker. But we're not there to make a profit. We're there to cover our costs.
Well, at this point in time, we're just trying to reduce the deficit, aren't we?
Yeah, it's really getting out of the red. And now that we're in SWAC, we still have a year that we're paying surcharges to the Rutland County Solid Waste District, so it doesn't matter where we bring it, outside of Gleason Road, we're gonna get hit with that $25 surcharge. So it just helps close the gap on that too. We do have an agreement with Hubbard's right now to bring it there. It's less than Gleason Road, but that doesn't count the surcharge. So $120 a ton plus $25 surcharge is $145 a ton to get rid of it. If we bring it to New York State, which we don't want to bring stuff to the landfill because it's farther, more time, and driving up on that pile, we're popping tires. And so we're trying to get away from bringing it to the landfill. So this is the only thing I can really think of, and talking with Heath, there's not like a whole lot of wiggle room.
I like it.
With keeping the rates low for, as low as we possibly can, but cover our costs.
Do we need a motion?
Yes.
I would make a motion that we accept the town manager's recommendation to change the transfer station schedule of fees, raising a large bag from $6 to $7, and mattresses and box springs from $25 to $40.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, board.
Okay, we're gonna move on. Crystal Beach fee schedule.
All right, so I did talk to Martha about this, so that there's no, everyone, I say everyone, myself and Martha know. She was gonna reach out to the rec commission, but she did say that when they've met before, that they've discussed this, they've really had no real input to it. But again, we're looking at revenues versus expenditures, and the proposal is to increase the season permit fees for Castleton residents from $20 to $30, and the non-resident annual or season permit from $75 to $85. I did give you comparisons for the state park, but one thing to note on what the state season pass, individual season pass at the state park is $40. Now, as in comparison to Crystal Beach, you buy a permit season pass at Crystal Beach, you can have a carload come in for that. So it's a big difference. Whereas if it's $4 a person if you pay without a pass, and $2 for children. So if you can imagine that someone goes to the to the beach 4 times a year with themselves and 2 children, that's $8. 8 times 4 is 32. The permit's 40. I'm recommending. So, to put it in perspective, it's a pretty cheap date. And
Permit's 30, Mike, is that, I'm not looking?
Yeah, he just misspoke. He misspoke, that's all.
Yeah.
I missed by 40.
Well, I just want to make sure that
Yeah, no,
people
I
listening out
meant,
there
I meant 30, sorry.
aren't
Good
gonna
catch.
freak out,
Somebody
yeah.
listening to this and said 40, but.
The transfer station permit's 40.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so $30 for season pass for residents, and $85 for non-residents, with no other changes to the fee schedule for kayaks and pavilion rentals, because in that packet I gave you, the pavilion rentals for a medium and a small pavilion, they don't list Bombazine in there for those, they only list it for the large ones, but other state parks, it's anywhere from 150 to 300, and we charge 175 or 150.
150.
150. So it's still a
Ours
cheap.
have electricity, right?
Yes. Well, the north one, that's been an ongoing issue to get power over to that, but now Paul McClure's involved with that one, and he's meeting Russ up and Nick up there tomorrow morning to go over the requirements. So the pump station's rewired and a separate panel's put in for the pavilion power, because if someone were to put something in there that tripped that panel, it would shut the pump station down.
This board approved that plan about 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah, this has been like a 2-year
So,
issue.
They didn't think that's too cheap, huh?
Who's that? About what?
The rec commission doesn't think that's too cheap, 150 for the pavilion?
Martha, talked to Martha, and we do rent it almost every weekend, both of them, and she thought that 150 was, fell in that range with the state parks. Personally, $150 for the time to rent that is,
It's a steal,
it really is a
right? You
steal.
got 25 people are having a wedding or whatever, they've got 35 people, you get 6 picnic tables, a cement floor. I couldn't imagine that, I mean, I don't want to get in the middle of their authority, but I just couldn't imagine that you would lose a single customer if that was 175 or even 200. It's just a good deal.
Well, 175 seems to be the sweet spot if you look at the, what the state park charges for open-air pavilions that have power, and they all seat more, they all have more capacity. But if you
But
look
we
at
have
the
a
small.
nicer beach.
Yeah, the small pavilion, from the state park, their fees range from 100 to 300, and if you want to average it out, it's about 175.
I mean, we have a nicer beach. People would prefer to go to Crystal Beach than the state park.
You're not gonna get any pushback from Martha on it, if the board wanted to, entertain that, raising it from 150 to 175.
I'll go with the rest of the board on that. I just wanted to share my opinion at $30 a year for a season permit for Crystal Beach is cheap. And if I still had a young family with kids, I would certainly be willing to pay $30 a year to use that beach. I think it was $20 a year when my kids were little. Does that sound right, Mark? I don't think that season pass fee has changed in
Super cheap,
a long time.
super cheap.
I haven't forgotten you, Barry. Anything else from the board
The
before?
other thing I'm wondering is why there's not a out-of-town rate for day passes.
I think trying to get into establishing residency is probably more work than it's worth,
Yeah.
in my opinion. I think we had that discussion last year.
Okay, I don't want to make it more difficult for them. I would like to see the pavilion rate go up.
Well, if the board kept or changed the season permit to $30 rather than 40, and the pavilion rental went up, no, I don't think somebody renting the pavilion is gonna squawk about another $25.
What do you
It's all
recommend?
day.
Your recommendation, or the board, the recommendation proposed to the board was to change the season permit fee to $30.
Correct. Right, what somebody mentioned, but I think Bob said something about. when
No,
I
you
said-
mentioned 40.
I know, and he said 40, and I'm thinking, even 40 is a steal, but to keep it, the cost contained for people that use it, consistently, is keep it at, do 30 and raise the pavilion fee to 175.
Anything else from the board before I open it up to the audience?
Can I-
Mary?
And Mary McIntyre, I just wonder if you'd consider doing an out-of-town fee for the pavilions, to give our own people a chance to have their wedding there, or their graduation party there, for a little cheaper than somebody from out of town.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all in favor of that. I don't want to discourage anyone from out of town from using our beach, but the taxpayers own it. They should,
Have preference.
pardon?
Have preference.
They should have preference and a
Cheaper rate.
cheaper rate, because if there's a deficit, they're gonna pay for it from their taxes.
So let's make it $150 a day for residents and $175 a day for non-residents.
About
I mean, we have the authority to
about
do that.
200 a day for non-residents,
And what for residents?
150.
I like that.
So Mark, are you prepared to make a motion now?
Yes. I would make a motion. Is there any more discussion? We all good? I would make a motion that we change the season's pass rates at Crystal Beach to $30 for a Castleton resident and $85 for a non-resident. And that the pavilions would stay at $150 per day for Castleton residents and $200 per day for non-residents.
I'll second that.
Is there any more discussion?
Oh, I would say effective 1 July, when the new rates go into effect. That's when they go into effect.
What if somebody's buying a permit before then?
I'd say that we're gonna have to, that's gonna be tough in HAGov to control that, so I think that,
They get it for the rate that's.
yeah, if they schedule ahead of time. but
Effective 1 July.
Yeah.
Gotta drive a stake in the ground somewhere, man.
Let's do it here.
Any more discussion? Effective 1 July. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, who would like to do the restaurant applications?
Can't, Bob's not here. Bob's not here. Bob's here, so Bob can do it.
No, I already said I wasn't doing that.
Well,
Okay, I'll do it.
I'll second it, but
If I can get to the right one.
Hopefully they're in order behind what's on the agenda is what you're seeing in your packets.
I don't even wanna look at that.
Maybe I messed them up.
I haven't.
They're probably in reverse, I take that back, they're in reverse order, because the lowest number's at the top.
Okay, I've got the Lake Bombazine Lodge.
Yeah, 298's the last one. I know. No.
No, that's the first one on my list.
Yeah, but in your packet, but on the list, it's down towards the end.
Oh, okay.
If you turn your packet upside down and start from that end, you'll be better off.
yeah, when I used to do it, I used
76,
to
456.
check ahead And then just do it right off the agenda.
Okay, I'm ready.
Even that didn't work.
I'm gonna say, just do
I
it.
don't do
Mine's all
that. I
messed
don't
up.
do this anymore.
Yeah.
I could, though.
I would make a motion that we approve first-class restaurant bar license application number 76453 for Cat Brett LLC doing business as the Bombazine Dog.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Outside consumption permit application 76452 for Cat Brett LLC doing business as the Bombazine Dog.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And third-class restaurant license application 76451. That doesn't match what I have here.
I don't have a 451 here.
Yeah, 451's third-class bar restaurant.
But on the agenda, it was 76456. No.
No, it's
51's the first one.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Third-class restaurant license application 76451
Second.
for Cat Brett LLC, doing business as the Bombazine Dog.
Second.
I should have asked before we got this far, there's nothing in arrears for the town, Mike?
No, so if we put them in the packets, then they've been all checked by the PD and by tax guys, or
Great.
ladies.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I got these all messed up.
Okay, next up is first-class restaurant bar license, application 76455, Breading LLC, doing business as Third Place Pizzeria.
Second.
Is there anybody here representing Third Place?
I am. I'm Jeff Breslin, representing. the-
Podium, please.
Oh, podium. Okay. I've been at the podium in a long time. Yes, sir.
So, we had issued a license to a different entity for
Yep.
this location. Am I assuming that that's not gonna happen?
I knew you'd ask. No. It's taken a lot longer. So Andrew, at this point, that business transaction is gonna happen this next Monday, the 5th, I believe. Is that right? I think. First Monday in May.
4th.
4th. He put in for his application just in case because it has been delayed and delayed and delayed. So if that doesn't happen, he
Right.
doesn't have a license. So
Gotcha.
that's why he's asking for, I think there's 2 in there.
There is, yep.
Restaurant and the bar. So hopefully it'll all be done Monday, but
There is, A first class and a third class,
Correct,
but not outside consumption.
correct.
Okay, he's aware of that.
I will make him, I noticed that, and I haven't been able to speak to him about that, but I assume that if it doesn't happen, he will be here asking for the outside consumption.
Okay, I just want to make sure he was aware of it.
I noticed that myself.
When he was in here a little while ago, there was no outside consumption that time either, if I recall correctly.
Right.
It was
He
posed,
said
right?
He was still trying to figure, he
I
was
think
gonna
that
figure.
the potential new owners, correct, I
Yeah.
don't think they are planning, don't quote me on this, for outside consumption.
Yeah, he
but-
said he had yet to decide whether he wanted to do
Right.
that or not.
Right, and I would assume, again, dangerous saying that, but if the transaction doesn't happen, I would assume that Andrew will be here requesting that because he does rely a lot and enjoy to offer that for his patrons, the outside in the summer,
Right,
so.
people really enjoy that.
Yeah, I will let him know.
Great, thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Mr. Breslin, are you the muscle now for Andrew?
No, I wouldn't call it that. I'm his gopher, I guess is another way to say it.
So I've lost track, Mark.
So I made the motion to approve first-class license 76455 for Breading Inc., DBA Third Class Pizzeria.
Did you second that, Mary?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion that we approve third-class bar license application 76456 for Breading LLC doing business as Third Class Pizzeria.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Make a motion that we approve second-class license 75485 for Midway Oil Corporation doing business as Tennybrook.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mark, if you would prefer, I read the rules of procedure today.
Yep.
And it is okay for the chairman to make motions?
I would like you to do that
If you prefer
for the
to not do
tobacco
those
license.
two, I will do that for you.
Yep. You have paper?
I'm gonna take it right off the agenda.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a motion to approve tobacco license application number 75486 and tobacco substitute endorsement license 75487 for Midway Oil Corporation doing business as Tennybrook.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, it's all you, Mark.
Okay. Like to make a motion, we approve outside consumption permit 75298 for the Lake Bombazine Lodge LLC doing business as Lake Bombazine Lodge.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Make a motion, we approve third-class restaurant bar license, application 75300 for Lake Bombazine Lodge LLC, DBA Lake Bombazine Lodge.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Make a motion, we approve first-class restaurant bar license, application 75301, Lake Bombazine Lodge LLC, DBA Lake Bombazine Lodge.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, where was the? Okay, South Street sidewalk bid reviews.
All right,
Mike, you have something to add from what was in our packet?
well, first I want to say, Mr. Chairman, that Sanderson Trucking, it's probably Jarrett from Sanderson Trucking is on Zoom. Is that true, Jarrett? Garrett, I'm sorry.
Some on there earlier.
Can you hear us?
He's flicking.
There you are. You can hear us okay, though? You're muted, though.
Now he's mute, according to the,
We can't hear you.
something's not working.
Hold on a second. There we go.
Oh, got him.
And you're Jarrett?
Okay, we can hear you.
Okay. So we have bids, the bid tabulations from Fuss and O'Neill, and a letter from Fuss and O'Neill with their recommendation. The Sanderson Trucking and Excavation LLC and Waters Excavation Incorporated were the two lowest of the bidders that provided the bids. And there's a letter in your packet from Brian Birch from Fuss and O'Neill with his analysis and for your consumption.
That paperwork you just gave us, Mike?
It's right here.
Yeah.
You can read mine copy.
Okay. So that was just given to us, right?
Correct.
It cut it off, so I didn't hand it out originally, but
Okay.
not that it would matter, because it's just a long list. This was, so what I did get, from one of the companies from Waters was a list of their projects that they had, and I talked to.
We just got that tonight.
Garrett, and, they did a project for Ludlow, two different separate projects, two different streets, and with different linear feet of, concrete sidewalks down there. He did provide me the phone number to the highway foreman, and I just didn't call today. I ran out of time.
So this was being done via the small-scale sidewalk?
Correct. Yep.
So what was our grant allowance on this?
150,000.
For which we're responsible for 50%.
Correct. So,
So we have two bidders under 150K,
right.
which is surprising.
And this was out of that ARPA turned into carryover.
Right. Is where this match is coming from.
Right. And I believe, don't quote me, but I believe it was 150 is what the board authorized. 115 was Parsons Hills, I think 150 was South Street.
Of which we're only gonna have to spend 75?
Up to, they'll pay up to 75 of that 150, so if our share goes over, 75, we're paying the rest of that overage, if it goes over 150 total.
Where I'm going with that is if we do have 75 remaining in carryover, that can be used for the Main Street project.
Correct. That's where my mind went originally, first thing. I don't know if, and Garrett's on there, I'm not sure if, I don't have a list of their, projects like, Waters sent me, late today. But if you have any questions, obviously for him and his past experiences, he could probably answer that for you.
Is it Garrett?
Yeah. So history, I talked to Garrett on the phone. I think they've been in business for like 3 or 4 years now, but he did work for his dad's business before that. He has 6 employees, looking to hire a 7th. Did the Ludlow project for sidewalks. I believe, Garrett, you said that when you're working for your dad's business, you did some concrete work or sidewalks. I don't have my notes.
We did all of those sidewalks when I worked for my father's business, and then we did 1,500 linear feet last summer for Ludlow under my business and my crew.
Is it fair that we share Fuss and O'Neill's recommendations? Is that kosher to do that? Don't do that.
I wouldn't. I mean,
Okay.
it's their recommendation to the select board.
Okay.
But if there's anything in there that in the bid tabulation that is of concern, I mean, that's certainly something the board should discuss.
Okay.
So Garrett, your business has only done one sidewalk project?
Under my my business myself, yes.
I have a two-part question here. That's part one. Part two is, tell me about your personal sidewalk construction experience.
My personal sidewalk construction experience is I don't know off the top of my head how many linear feet we've done total in the town, specifically in Ludlow, is where I've done most of it. But we follow I don't have the number off the top of my head, but the Vermont standard guidelines for the wire mesh, the new pedestrian, I can't think of the name of it, the pads that go into the concrete.
I'm with you.
Standards for basically for the blind. And then we do the expansion joints all up to code for the state and all the correct PSI from the concrete company itself.
So I guess my question was, you've answered, is that you're not, building sidewalks is not a new thing for you.
No.
Okay.
No, I've done a fair amount, and then my foreman, you can call it, who's my second in charge, he worked for a company called ED Sweat. He's not local to the Castleton area. They're more over New Hampshire, but works for me now. They did bridge construction, and he was their concrete guy, or one of their main concrete guys in the concrete world of bridges.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And also, I think from Fuss and O'Neill, there was a question about contractors wasn't listed for cement, or the companies they use for that. And I know you shared it with me, Garrett, but would you share with the select board the companies that you use to you purchase the concrete from?
Here, that's what I wanted to ask. Yeah.
Companies we purchase concrete from, the two that I work with the most is JP Carrera, which is right in Clarendon, and Carroll Concrete, which they're not up Rutland Way. So I would be using JP Carrera for my mix.
And you don't subcontract the work out for the forms? You do all that work yourself?
No, we do all the forming, all the placement of wire, and all the placement of expansion joints, and then the finish work is all under us.
Thank you.
Garrett, I had a question on the line item of hand-placed bituminous concrete material.
Yep.
Can you explain exactly what that work encompasses?
That was, I don't have the bit right in front of me.
I'm just surprised there's so much variation between the different bidders on that particular line item.
Which,
It's 406.38, if that helps you at all. Item number 406.38.
He doesn't have this. This is from Fuss and O'Neill. This tabulation is not.
Oh, okay.
So this is all the bidders that are listed across the top there.
Yep.
So Fuss and O'Neill put this together based upon the packets
I'm sorry, not a fair question then.
Well, it seems like Garrett could answer that, because this isn't his first rodeo.
Right.
well, so I've never been asked that in any of my previous, so this is the first one that's actually been engineered. All we've had to follow in previous contracts with the town is strictly just the Vermont standards. And the Vermont standards don't specify any of that.
We still need to talk to you.
I guess the hand-placed concrete would be at driveways.
Yeah, so.
The asphalt.
Yeah, the handwork for asphalt.
Yes, so
Yeah.
we do patch paving almost weekly. Well, that wouldn't necessarily be patch paving, but very similar. We do it in 2-inch lifts, 4 inches thick is normally what I try to do. And then we have a 2-ton roller, dual drum roller that we utilize for that as well.
Okay, I'll share with the board, typically on our paving projects, they give us a price per ton for paving the main part of the road, and the handwork is always the the aprons on driveways, and that price is always much higher than what they gave us for the actual roadway, because it's more labor intensive with people and using hand tools and either compacting or vibratory rollers or whatever it is.
Mark, I'm gonna interrupt you for
It's more-
just, well, go ahead, Garrett.
It's just more difficult, I guess it's more difficult to place because we're scooping it out of the back of a truck and then you got 2 to 3 guys, looting it out, and then you gotta get it perfectly flat, whereas if you have a paver, it's obviously laying it perfectly flat. And then getting it rolled, and then you just gotta basically stand by with it until it, depending on the weather and the humidity, how fast it hardens up. Before you can let people drive on it.
Okay, I'm gonna interrupt for just a minute. Mary, do you still have a question?
I have a question about sidewalks in general, I think, after you finish this discussion.
Okay. Mark, do you have any more questions?
I don't. Garrett, you said this would be the first job that the previous jobs you've done have not been spec'd out by an engineer?
No, they have not. All we've had to follow is the Vermont AOT standard.
Okay, but you clearly understand that the engineering specifications here would have to be met.
Yes. Yep. It's not my first time doing an engineered job. We just never have had to deal with them with sidewalks.
Okay, we've just had projects where we've reached the end and there's been a misunderstanding between the contractor and the board of what was supposed to take place. And
Yep,
that's
no,
a horrible place to end up. Nobody wants to be there.
No, I understand where you're coming from there, and no, it's not our first time with following blueprints and following measurements and elevations. It's just the first sidewalk job, because Ludlow doesn't engineer any of their sidewalks. They just spec it out by linear feet and then have us price it by linear feet.
Garrett, in layman's terms, can you tell me, you've already explained it, I think, but I'm having a hard time understanding, what is this hand-placed, I think, Mark, you asked it, bituminous concrete material, and then it has behind it drives. That's
Driveway aprons.
Driveway aprons.
So that's actually asphalt, right?
It's asphalt.
Okay, but it says concrete on this.
Bituminous, though,
That means it's asphalt. Okay.
They're doing that so that us mere humans don't understand it.
Yeah, that's good. Other than there's astronomical differences with all the bids.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of variance.
And that
in
scares me. I don't know why.
Well, some people bid and they don't go look at the places, and some people do, and so they estimate on how much they think it's gonna take, versus measuring it, and, because they have to measure every driveway.
Did you look at this job, Garrett?
Yes, I did. I walked it with the engineers the day of the pre-bid meeting.
He's actually, the driveway work is actually, he's the highest, well, the second highest number on that line.
And when you build that, if you don't use as much material as you first estimated, then that gets passed on to the town, right? You obviously don't charge us for, well, based on the bid, you charge us based on what you actually used.
So normally, yes, that's in instinct, yes, that's how it would work. I've had like one instance where I've been over on my material. Normally I'm within like a ton or a yard, depending on whether it's concrete or pavement.
And availability, once this is approved and all the rest of the administrative requirements are met, you have availability for this summer?
I plan to started as soon as the college was out and graduated, or all the activities were done, sort of like we spoke in the pre-bid meeting. Was gonna be the best time to do it was during the off school year.
So what we're waiting on right now is the rest of the easements, the temporary construction easements, to work out of the right-of-way on these personal properties. So there's a couple of people that we still have to get back from, but.
Anything else from the board? So what's your pleasure, board? Are we gonna do anything?
Well, I don't want to kick the can down the road. We have as much information right now, I think, as we're going to have. Do we have recommendations from anybody?
We have the recommendation from Fuss and O'Neill. Do you have any thoughts that you wanna share at this point, Mike?
No, if I looked at this thing, I would say that Waters has more experience than Sanderson does, but, listening to him talk to you, it doesn't sound like he doesn't have the ability to do it, it just doesn't have as much experience doing it.
Even though he did a lot with under his father's.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm talking about his own company, so he did Ludlow, but he did Ludlow with his father too, but as far as holding the bag as the owner of a company and being responsible for what happens, it's less experience, that's all.
How old are you, Garrett?
49.
Pardon me?
49.
29?
29, yeah.
Well, I give you a lot of credit, you're ambitious. And you looked at this job and you believe that you fully understand the scope of the engineering study and you can do this job within the parameters of that study, of that?
Yep, I've gone over the plans probably a handful of times during the bidding process of it and afterwards, and then I walked it and looked at it the day we did the pre-bid meeting. We went over with the gentleman that was there from Fuss and O'Neill, and walked it and went over any questions and we had or any of the contractors had, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a pretty easy section of sidewalk.
And you understand that somebody will be checking the job as you do it to make sure it's done to those engineering specifications?
Yep. Like I said, I've worked with engineers before in projects, even under my own entity, and had them literally standing over my shoulder as we're doing it, just I have not had them with me for sidewalk projects.
Okay, I don't mean to keep grilling you, I just want to make sure that when we make a decision here, that it's a decision that works for everybody.
So Garrett, this is the chairman, you're confident that you can do this job, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Have you worked with Fuss and O'Neill before, Garrett?
I have not.
You have not, okay.
And one of the areas for this contract, Fuss and O'Neill has limited, their contract is limited scope on that for their MPM, so they're not gonna be there every day with them. They're probably gonna be there twice a week. So, if we want them there more, then we're gonna have to amend the contract with them to be there more often. But right now, their plan was to be there a couple times a week, spot check things, but they will require the contractor to submit daily logs of what they've done and track that stuff. And they'll also, check quantities, they'll check any sieve tests or anything that needs to be done for the material that goes underneath the sidewalk, compaction, all that stuff.
Okay. And I think this would fit in Jeff's wheelhouse, wouldn't it, to do a spot check? Not really?
I don't want to say yes or no, because I don't know how much experience he's had with that type of thing. I mean, he did stonework, but it's
Okay.
different than sidewalks.
Well,
So Garrett, what's your estimate of how many weeks or months or years this job will take you?
Years.
Probably weather dependent, probably about 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, yeah, I know you can't forecast the weather that far out, I get that. Okay, 2 to 3 weeks, you think?
As long as we have dry weather and
Yeah.
Mother Nature participates, then yeah.
I understand. I've been in construction most of my career too, so I get that. You can't control the rain.
I would like to bring up too that one of the things that was in the bid packet was the engagement with the homeowners along that route, is that we are communicating with them, because there's gonna become a time where they can't get out of their driveway. So just as a general statement for the contractor that is awarded the bid, is that's something I want Fuss and O'Neill, I told them I want them to really heavily scrutinize, and that we're communicating with people so they know they have to park off-street for a day or something like that, and then they're gonna be displaced, or if there's somebody that has a mobility issue and, things that we need to be able to be aware of, before we take another sidewalk project and tick off the residents.
Did you hear all that, Garrett?
Yeah, so what I normally do with that is I form out everything except the driveway entrances. And then, well, in this instance, I can't remember, if we're pouring the sidewalk through the driveways, or if we're pouring, or doing the asphalt in the driveways. But normally, if the concrete's going through the driveway, normally what we do is we form out all the areas besides the entrances to driveways or walkways, pour them, and then space out, give people a notice a day or two ahead to pour the entryways and the driveways.
Yeah, these driveways, I'm pretty confident will be poured concrete, so we'll have to plan for that. But it sounds like you've had that experience already.
Yep.
Well, Garrett?
I will be on site myself personally, majority of the time.
That was the last question I was gonna ask you. I'm gonna take you at your word as a gentleman, and I'm gonna make a motion that we award this bid to Sanderson Trucking and Excavation for $134,000, $134,098.
Second?
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You're hired.
Thank you.
Garrett, do a good job for us. We'll do business in the future, and we'll give you good recommendations.
Absolutely.
And like Mike said, if anybody has any further questions, he either has my cell phone number, or I also gave him the reference to the highway foreman in Ludlow. I would have given the town manager, but they switched town managers from last summer to this summer, so the one that's there now no longer, or won't have a clue about working, or what I did.
Understood.
Garrett, I'll be in touch, and I'll let Fuss and O'Neill know as well.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good night.
Mary?
Thank you.
Yes,
You have
just on the
Can you-
topic,
Come on. So the Zoom recording will pick you up, please?
Mary McIntyre, as long as you're on the topic of sidewalks, is there anything in the budget to go back and help repair sidewalks? Specifically that area near Tom's Bait and Tackle and the house between Tom's Bait and Tackle and Mike Pelletier's? That sidewalk is all broke down.
Yeah. There is money in the budget for sidewalks. It's not specifically for repairs, but I just got to get a contractor over there to look at it, because they're going to have to re-pour those slabs, those sections.
Is it because the vehicles are going across it like nonstop? That's what caused it?
I know right in front of that place next to the west of Rob's, they were driving across it within days of it being poured, and they were kind of obstinate about it right from the beginning.
And it's unfortunate, because the rest is holding up good, but right there is just terrible. And I don't know about any of you, but we walk it pretty regular, so I just thought I'd bring that up. Thank you.
I just wonder why that is, because there's just as much traffic going in and out of the auto.
Well, they did it right after. They didn't let the curing time really go.
People that
live there.
Okay.
Because they parked, they have a driveway there, but they parked in front of the house too, and they were just driving right across it right there.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, physically, the sidewalk itself, it's, so, and there's no like extra piece like in front of Bait and Tackle. There's an extra width of cement in front of, between the road and the sidewalk. And there isn't, and there's no gravel or anything holding that up, so it's just crushing right there.
That's why Rob was not a fan of this whole thing, because his place was the most contentious of all of it, and there was some field work or decisions that were made to try to appease both Rob and try to meet the engineering specs of things. So sometimes when you deviate from what they recommend, it doesn't turn out so well. But there's also a crack on the one by Irving. That happened in the first year, and the contractor said they would be back to fix it, and it still sits there like that. When they bid on this job, I was gonna say, oh, by the way, but they didn't get the bid, so.
All right, we're gonna move on to manager's report.
I sent you by email, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of highlights of what's going on, to try to prep you for the meeting, and.
The email that you sent out Saturday?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
It said FYI.
Yeah, I had a chance to read that.
You know, there's.
I'm gonna shut those windows, do you mind?
I provided the board a copy of the bill of invoice that was from, for the wood chipper, I think it was Champlain. And it was like, I forgot what it was now. I gave it in your packet.
2564,
yeah. And so Evan looked at it, and he said that it did get taken apart, but not the lower end. So we've ordered 2 valve cover gaskets. Once they're in, he's gonna give a compression test on it. Bob Ward stopped by and said that after, call me when you do the compression test, I'll be there. And they'll determine if it's something that it's gonna be an easier fix than the lower end of the engine, crank and stuff like that. Just if it's pistons, valves, that kind of thing. So Bob said he would help out. And
Nice.
so we ordered the Saturday, my wife ordered the gaskets. We had to order them on eBay. That thing's made in Canada. So getting the parts from the actual manufacturer wasn't a easy find. So Gavin found them on eBay, and so they're $26 a piece. So we ordered 2 of them in case, because he's gonna do the compression test. And if it's something that we can fix, they're gonna have to take it back apart, and then they'll have the other gasket to make the final repair with it. So that's ongoing at this point. The greater cylinder that was sent out for repacking has not been done. Jeff's getting a little antsy because the complaints are coming in about the grading. And so he's getting me a price for the new cylinder, so that we can, because the company, when he called them, it's Casella's that repacks them. They couldn't tell him when the part's gonna be in. So it could show up tomorrow, it could show up 3 weeks from now. And we can't wait 3 weeks to grade, that's for sure. So he's getting me the price, and I'm assuming it'll be in my spending limit, but I hate to spend money especially since we're so tight on the highway budget, but I also know that we have to get out and grade. We kind of fell short last year and part of the year before because the grader was down and the weather wasn't cooperative, because you can't go out there and grade when the roads are a mess, soupy. So we want to get out there. It's not like we don't want to. It's, getting everything fully mission capable. The mower tractor broke down again. It blew some loose bolts on where a hydraulic connection was, and they had to go out and fix it, and it's back running again, and Bill Harris has been running it. So that's out and about. Mark sold the Skag mower that was from the beach to R&D, actually, so that got sold. I let Martha know that. They sent me the information to do the bill of sale for it, so I'll get that done and they can come in and pay.
Does that mower have to be replaced up at the beach? Or is that been already replaced?
It's been already. Martha came to me today looking, they need a new, smaller mower. the Skag was what they used. Now they use the Kubota. That's like a lot of overkill to mow a lawn with that thing, but it is a mower. But they wanted to get they brought, oh, take that back. They had a rider that they brought up to the garage, and Evan's like, this thing is really old on its last leg, and we put in the budget a new mower. So I told her, I gave her the website to look up the state bid contract pricing and see if, get price comparisons, because the state buys them, and if we can piggyback off those. So I told her, call local vendors and look at the state price and come to me with a recommendation, so she'll do that. Heath told me that the contractor for the compactor bin called him and was asking about when they're gonna get their money, which they want it FedEx to them because they have a problem with their mail. So it's in your packets, the warrants, and for them to get their 60% or 50% up front. So that will get that ball rolling. And then it was 60% for the scales, 50% for the compactor. So we processed the one for the scales, with the Farnham scales. Those are the big projects going on. We hired a gentleman from Fairhaven. I told you that last meeting. So he took his flagger certification. So he's starting to do outside work with us now. And there's something else. Oh, Nick, I told you about Nick at the sewer plant. He's really gonna be a real asset to this town with the wastewater. He is already like he's not even clocking in on it, but he's down there reorganizing stuff, cleaning out things and making it, OSHA compliant and safety compliant, and is involved with decisions that are being made. He's been out getting his hands dirty on grinder pumps and pump stations, learning about how we do business. So it's been a real positive experience there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Good. Definitely good news. I interviewed 2 people today for the office manager position, and I've got 3 more on Wednesday. 2 today seemed, they were decent candidates. Better than the first 46. So that's good. Other than that,
Any questions for Mike?
I don't have any.
I like that, good report.
You do purchase orders, Mark?
Yep.
So we're gonna move on to purchase orders, if you're all set, Mr. Town Manager.
I am, sir. And then you had the updated one I handed out, right?
Yep.
Yes,
Got the updated one. You got the updated one?
I do. I just gotta put my hands
I got extra copies if you need it.
in. No, I got enough paperwork.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay, make a motion, we approve purchase order 055411 to Farnham Scales, 60% deposit on the new scales.
Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
You didn't have an
Sorry.
amount. You didn't give him an
Oh, you gotta
amount.
say the amount.
I thought I gave the amount?
No,
Oh, I'm sorry, $39,690.
Do I have a I have a
I'll
second?
second that then.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion, we accept purchase order 055501 for the amount of $7,500 as a 50% deposit on a compactor replacement.
Where?
Did I hear a second?
Where? Where are you gonna pay, who you gonna pay?
Atlantic Sales and Salvage.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Make a motion, we accept purchase order 055499 in the amount of $100.40 for brochure distribution for the Explore Castleton brochure to the Vermont Brochure Program.
Second.
I have a question. Why are we seeing a purchase order for $100?
I don't know. Well, probably because I asked her, I said, I gotta know if the select board wants to continue with this. And I hadn't talked to you about it yet. Because those are the brochures that the CEDARAC made when they were active. So we have lots of them, and I don't know what, we're paying them, I guess, to distribute them.
Are they, have you seen one lately? Are they outdated or?
They're probably a little outdated. I think that Robo's was on it. You know, they were a nice-looking brochure that had pictures of Lake Bomsey and the university and a bunch of different businesses in Castleton. And they're distributed at the Welcome Station in Fairhaven, which, well, I knew the numbers at one time. It was just startling how many people stopped there.
Oh, yeah.
Do they direct people through the community? I don't know. They distribute some of them. I would think for the $100 we spend that it probably does. I think it would be nice when these are gone, or maybe before they're gone, to update that brochure and with newer businesses and the rail trail. But again, who takes that project on? You know, we went around and solicited payment from every business in town. And Matt Ryan, who works at Woodard's, his wife, I don't remember her name now, she was a marketing person and she put together the brochure, did a beautiful job on it.
She did a great job. I can't remember her name either, but.
Two of the people that I interviewed today are marketing, they've done marketing, and you can use Canva and all those programs, so we might have some people internal that can do that, depending on if they hire or not, but.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's low-hanging fruit to get, I forget the numbers, like, 160,000 people a year stop at that Welcome Center, and they pick up whatever brochures they want.
You got my support.
All right, I'm gonna call the question.
Yeah, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now we know why we sent a purchase order for $100 though. Okay, continue on, Mark.
Okay, I
please.
make a motion, we pay purchase order 055669 for the sum of $4,350 for grinding 3 stumps at Crystal Beach, 2 stumps on Main Street, and 2 tree removal and stump grindings on the corner of 97 South and 835 Main to Brock's Landscaping.
Brooks.
Brooks. I'll second it.
Supposed to be
Oh, Brooks, I'm sorry.
All in favor?
I'll just,
Aye.
it's a minute question, but the unit price is 300 and 200, but the total amount is 550.
There's one that was 200 something, and then there was one, I think there's, if you look at you have a copy of the invoice there?
I probably do, Mike. I didn't, just looking at the.
There was combined, there was 2 different ones in there.
Oh, yeah, there it is. It's 250. So this is wrong in the front here. Okay. Okay, yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
He did a great job on the stumps. I mean,
I drove by one of those today and it looked really
he
good.
did better than anybody's done it so far.
I would say the job looked excellent when I drove by and looked at it.
Make a motion, we pay purchase order 055670 in the amount of $113,355 to Casella Construction for the Depot Terrace sewer extension. Does not include the installation of cement holding tank and grinder pump to be installed at a later date.
Would you say that amount of money again?
$113,355.
I'll second it.
For discussion, just so everyone knows, this is the one that we approved, the initial, to start this process back at the last sewer meeting 2 weeks ago. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So you can move on to warrants if you would, please, Mark, and let me have those and I'll sign them. The purchase orders, I need those back so I can sign them.
Snap to it.
We haven't got them trained
Okay.
yet.
Make a motion, we approve warrant 0427R for $39,690.
Can you stop right there? Isn't that a?
You don't have the new one. He handed you one of the new one?
Yeah, there should be a new one over there, Bob, somewhere.
Yeah, but you've already done it up on the top of the purchase orders. Did we do that again? for the-
Yeah, we have to have a check warrant as well as, we have to approve the purchase order and we have to approve the check warrant. Welcome to Vermont law. Very seldom are they the same number, but in this case they are. This warrant is just for that payment.
Okay, I don't know if I've ever seen that.
We had to add it, because
It
they
happens.
were on the other ones the other day, so I asked her to add them, last minute for Casella's and for Brooks.
It's rare, but it does
Because
happen.
the original one you got only had 3 purchase orders on it and 5 warrants.
Okay, I guess you guys know what you're talking about. I don't know if I've ever seen that, but whatever.
Warrant 0424 for $35,502.98. Warrant 0427 for $36,416.49. Warrant 0416P for $20,455.54. And warrant 0423P for $21,049.26.
Second.
You're missing one,
You
Mark.
missed the one, yeah.
Do you have the new list?
Apparently I have an old list if I'm missing one.
0426,
The 122,000, you didn't read that one off.
Yeah, hand him that list.
this one here?
I know he gave copies to everybody, but
Okay.
just to make it.
That's the right one, Dick?
that is
And
the right-
warrant 0423P, I'm sorry, 0426 for $122,705.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, we got it right now.
Just so you're aware, the reason that got added is Brooks called me and nobody explained to him that how our warrant system works and that he wanted to come in on Friday and pick up a check and I'm like, well, it doesn't quite work that way. And I said, but if you can get something to me by the end of the day, I'll have it added into the packet for Monday. And that's why it was added. That and Casella's.
So I think we got this right in spite of ourselves.
And while you guys are signing that, part of the bid packet for the village school, the rec center, was testing the mastic, the adhesive under those tiles for asbestos. And so I reached out to 3 companies, and today I got a quote back from John Turner Consulting. And we're looking at about $955 to do that testing. But it's something that needs to get done to make sure, if they get into that project and found out that there was asbestos, that would be a really bad position to be in.
For both us and the contractor.
And that gym would be tore up for how long?
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to know that now.
You know, in the 1940s, 99% of all the asbestos in the United States came from that mine up in Lowell.
Really?
Wow.
Have you ever seen that?
I have not, never been
I
there.
have.
There's a pile of asbestos tailings up there that would cover the university.
And when the wind blows,
When it rains, you know, it's $1 billion cleanup and nobody's gonna spend the money.
they'll go bankrupt if you made them do it. They'd be like,
The company's been gone since
oh, really?
they closed in the, like 1959, 1960, and
let me make sure I
the
have 6
workers
there.
took it over as a
Yes,
co-op.
I can do that.
And they
I'm
ran
signing
it
these.
for another 18 years, till they all died of cancer.
It's like watching the Chinese had, China had workers in Afghanistan that worked in the coal mines, and they would come past and they would have,
There is
they'd be
6
piled
here.
up in the trucks, just black as head to toe, and they said their life
36,
expectancy
yeah.
was so low, because they didn't have all the, safety regulations and stuff like that, they just were breathing that stuff in, it was crazy. While you guys are, while you're finishing that up, just something under, select board comments to think about is, the second meeting is Memorial Day weekend, Memorial Day, so you might wanna consider moving that off, especially because people go on vacation, there's just.
Plus, you just can't meet on Memorial Day.
What's that?
We can't meet on Memorial Day.
But just give it something to think about as you, to move it off on that date.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out of town that day. On the 25th?
I believe it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna be out of town that day. What do you think?
We're not having a meeting.
Glad you mentioned it. All right, so, we're gonna move on to select board comments. Mark? Before we get done with select board comments, we'll make a decision on about Memorial Day. Are you looking at your calendar, Mark?
I was looking at my comment label, and surprisingly, I have none this week.
Okay. Mary Lee?
Just that I'm gonna be gone at May 11th.
Okay. Bob, you got anything?
The four-wheeler issue was covered and the grading of the dirt roads, and that was basically all I had, I believe.
Okay.
West Castleton?
Oh, yeah, thank you, Mike, for taking care of finally. I gotta put the finally in there, the West Castleton issue, or it's being taken care of. Yes, thank you.
I just wanna make sure the board knew it, that's all.
Yeah, it went very well. You already covered it, didn't you? Didn't you?
Well, he briefly mentioned it earlier during the meeting.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, you thank Justin for
Absolutely.
taking care, or for the PD to take care of it during the week, the week.
Yes,
Mike
and it
was-
went better than expected, so, yes.
So I guess the only thing we have to do before we move on is decide what we're doing for a meeting that would normally be scheduled on May 25th. I will be out of town from the 18th until the evening of the 26th.
Thursday, 28th.
I have nothing scheduled for the Thursday, the 28th. Will that still work for getting warrants signed and all that? Will that be adequate?
I mean, it's gonna delay checks out a few days, but as far as being able to put together, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, well, yeah, it won't be 3 weeks like it is sometimes, when there's 3 weeks between select board meetings.
No, as far as us getting them together, that's not a problem.
Can you make the 28th?
I can.
Can you make the 28th, do you
Probably
think?
can zoom in, yeah.
Can you make the 28th, Mark?
Yes.
Okay, well, we'll at least have 4 members, and I'll let Rob know tomorrow.
I could be in Boston watching the Red Sox lose to the Yankees,
Oh, my God.
and Alex Cora not managing.
Yeah, he's gone.
All right, so we're tentatively gonna move the select board meeting to the 28th.
Do you need this, Dick? Did you get that?
Is that just a copy? Is that?
That's a copy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought so.
It's a good copy, but it's.
It is a
copy.
good copy. I thought it was an original.
No, the original is actually a multi-part self-duplicating form.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, so we're gonna move on to, action items. The only one I've got written down so far is that I'm gonna get a hold of Peter Lynch, and we're gonna coordinate an effort to address the issue of the health center's nonprofit status.
Good. And we're on for Thursday. I sent you that message.
I didn't
5
see
o'clock.
it yet, but I'll believe
Yep,
you.
5 o'clock here with Andy and Mary.
Okay,
And I'm going to call you on the 5th and 6th grade.
okay. Okay,
You are the person.
understood. You have both my phone numbers, so. I only do voicemail on my cell phone, though, just so you know, because the house phone, it just doesn't know, it's not always convenient.
Okay.
So if you leave me a voicemail, leave it on my cell phone, and I'll call you back from my home phone, because that doesn't work. My cell phone only works when I'm in the driveway.
Can we make sure we CC Eric Ramey when we meet to
For the
discuss?
5th and the 11th,
Yeah, is that when we're gonna have it? On the
May 11th?
That is our plan at this
Okay,
point.
can you just make sure he knows about it?
All right, so we're gonna move on to, we need an executive session for, what's the right word?
Contracts, legal on there at the bottom.
Do I have the blue folder? I do not. This is not.
There was nothing to, I had nothing to sign, I don't think.
Well, no, but we have to make the motions, and that's where the verbiage is for the motions.
Yep, you're right, absolutely 100%.
Ellen, this is no offense to you,
Oh, look at
but
the minute stick.
we're gonna be early because Rob's not here. Just,
The minutes,
if you wanna share that with him.
I will tell him.
Yeah. I didn't want you to be offended,
You
though.
can read it right after that with me.
Yeah, you can read. So who would like to make the motions to go into executive session?
Mark is good at speaking tonight. Let him do it.
Yeah, you have to make two motions to go into executive session. What's our first one?
He's been
first one is to say that.
Contracts?
Yeah, the contracts, yeah.
Contracts is the first one.
And which, and on the, if it's not listed in there, Mark, it's on the back of your agenda. Contract, labor relations contracts is,
The last one.
So the
Yeah.
first motion is to go into executive, to find that we have reason to go into executive session. The second motion is to actually do it, and then we have to use the state statute, which for contracts is 1 VSA, section 313A1.
Okay. Make a motion, I move to find that premature general public knowledge regarding the personnel matter at hand would put the board at a substantial disadvantage because of the sensitive nature of the personnel matter,
Contract matter.
contract matter.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Then the second one, Mark,
Where's the blue folder, Reed?
I forgot the blue folder.
it's not
There was nothing to sign, so I didn't think that's written on the outside of it.
So the second motion, see, wait a minute, Rob,
Telling you, we better
trained.
be running that ad and that,
Move we enter into executive session at
you probably wish that, wouldn't you?
9:37 PM to discuss
And it'll be a contract matter
contract matter under the provisions
of this statute.
BSA 313A1.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.